TIFU by applying for a job, getting fired, and changing the job advertisement. I turned 18 and was looking for my first job. Having had a sheltered existence, I searched and searched, applying for job after job on Craigslist. Most of these jobs required experience, even entry-level jobs like dishwashing, which is fair enough as these jobs do take a while to become competent at. However, this was not good for me. I finally found a job ad which said, "Experience preferred but not essential." I pounced on this opportunity, since I lived near the business and was the first person to respond. I was given the job. Now, I had a sheltered existence and was not a good worker. On my first shift I messed up the change, was too slow dishwashing, tried putting the soft drinks cans in the fridge too perfectly, direction and spacing, which ended up taking too much time, and I couldn't remember which burrito had which toppings. After about an hour, the owner paid me and told me that I could go home. Apologizing that this wouldn't work out, I went home and hopped back on Craigslist and I saw the ad for that job again. But this time it said, "Experience required. TLDR. Applied for job. Got fired after an hour." Changed the ad from "Experience preferred" to "Experience required." You should reapply. You now technically have experience. While not the same thing, this reminds me of one of my first jobs I had. I had zero experience with many aspects of the job and life in general, especially the commercial dishwasher. So I asked the employee I was training under how to operate the machine. She rolled her eyes, turned to another worker, and said, "Poor princess can't operate a dishwasher," and then laughed at me. That was my last shift. You got fired after an hour? And they had you dishwashing, cooking, stocking and cashiering in all that time? Even the first day doing that would be terrible. All jobs listings say experience required. It's dumb. Just apply to any and all basic entry-level positions. Any half-decent employer will gain you and slowly get you up to speed. Maybe they should have told you how to do these things. Somewhere along the way companies just decided that training was for suckers. Sounds like the employer needed more experience with writing job requirements. And now thanks to you, they do. Any employer that fires you after an hour because you can't recall ingredients or are being meticulous about putting things away isn't a job or employer worth having. If it was only 1 hour and you truly did nothing egregious, the problem is with the employer, not you. So they ask entry level and just drop you with an assortment of random tasks out of the blue? I mean, as far as I know, even for flipping burgers in McDonald's they will try to give you training in each task before assigning you to it. In an hour, they had you stock, wash dishes, cook, and cashier? Where was the training? I've worked food, and even in a terribly disorganized place, we'd keep people on one station for a couple weeks before showing them the next thing. It sounds like this place had unrealistic expectations. Go out for another dish job. Ignore the "no experience" part. Most spots won't expect their dish people to cook or cash. You might be asked to help expo, help run food, or help stock, but I never cared if my dishies were fast at their side work. Just get good at the main job. I'm surprised that the owner didn't even try to teach you anything and just kicked you in an hour. In my country, you are taught how to work. Then if you don't learn of mess up you are kicked. But that usually takes at least a month, not an hour. Did you apply again since you now have experience? Now you have experience. This 1000% was not your fault. I don't care how bad you were at these tasks. The first time you do anything, you're most likely going to be bad at it. The fact that this employer didn't want to put any effort in to teach you how to do these things is on him. You being bad at these tasks at first is no indication how you will be at them in the future with some practice. It is his choice whether he wants someone with experience or not. Of course. But the fact that he didn't say experience was required and only gave you 1 day to learn is kind of a dick move. Even if he realized that he made a mistake for saying, no experience required, he should have taken responsibility for that error and trained you the next time he posts. Yeah, experience required. But for you, he should have trained you. I am a slow learner but usually excel at something once it clicks. Sometimes I even tell employers this because it's true. I just don't want you to get discouraged or beat yourself up over this because you literally did nothing wrong, and this is zero indication of your intelligence or potential skill level. I personally think you most likely dodged a bullet with this guy. What kind of idiot expects a new employee in an entry-level job to be able to work washing dishes, working as a cashier and working in the kitchen all in the first hour of their first shift? That's ludicrous that even dishwashing jobs are requiring experience now. Dishwashing was my first job, and even 24 years ago it was so simple my unmedicated ADHD ass had it down in less than a week. This sounds more a lack of training than an inexperience issue. In one shift, you were expected to know how to handle cash, wash dishes the correct way and with the correct speed, memorize what went on what, and that were you supposed to stock and not face. Did you have any job experience? Was this your first job? Or was this your first real job experience and the owner, person, training you thought you should just know how to do all that? Most places, if you have no experience, start you on one thing and train you to do that. My first job, I spent the entire first week on register so I could learn how to put orders through and handle cash correctly. Don't be discouraged. This is a failure of management and not you. All in the first hour you washed dishes, stocked cans, dealt with customers, and had to remember burrito toppings? There's such things as giving people time to acclimatize. When a company says experience required, what they are saying is they want an employee that is already trained the way they like. That is obviously impossible. Employers that ask for only experience are just about as ignorant as they come. What will happen is they hire an experienced person who is trained differently than they expect. So they must now retrain them, which is significantly harder than simply training someone right in the first place. Why were you dishwashing, making change, and making burritos? No one in their right mind would make you a chef, cashier, and dishwasher all at once on your first day of work. Definitely their fault for not training you properly if they stated no experience necessary. I'll never understand this. You're here. You're willing. You clearly want to do a good job. So what's the harm in saying, the cans go in the fridge? It doesn't so much matter how, as long as they're in the right place. Dishes need to be faster. Do a good job and wipe every surface. But quicker is better than slower. Etc. etc.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.